Today I'm going to be playing another Patreon deck. This one is from RealPrismsword. RealPrismsword was either my first or second $25 patron, so I do feel a little bad that it took me this long to play their deck. But better late than never, I guess. So this is a token Demon Hunter. We've got a lot of ways to make tokens in this deck. We've got Command the Illidari, Coordinated Strike, Umberwing. We've got the new Vile Fiend Trainer. Satyr Overseer's a bit of a token card, I suppose. And we've also got Henchclan Hogsteed and Mermy. Our payoff cards for all these tokens are going to be Feast of Souls for some nice card draw. We've got Blood Herald to make a giant minion. And to a lesser extent, we've got Terran Gorefiend to get a bunch of stats. To go along with the Terran, we've also got some Serpent Eggs. And to support both the Serpent Egg and the Terran, we've got True Aim Crescent to pop those death rattles. And then we've got a small Soul Fragment package to have some finishing power. Feast of Souls is definitely one of my payoff cards, but I don't know if I can keep it off the mulligan. Spirit Jailer's probably a better one-drop than Mermy. Hopefully he doesn't have his 1-mana 1/3. That's not good for me. I can put some damage into it pretty easily though. So even if he ends up having a hand of it all, it's not too hard to deal with. Actually, I guess if he makes this have 3 health, then it is kind of hard to deal with. Probably just play Terran.
Reporting for duty.
I think this is the only real play. So I drop a 2/2 Mermy that drops a 1/1. Pretty solid. Blessing of Wisdom. How do you have room for that in Paladin? How do you have room? Well, I think I'm attacking with Terran. I can't afford to just leave all this value sitting in play. It does mean that he's going to draw into Libram of Hope and stuff like that. But, I don't know. I kind of have to attack with it. I just lost board so hard when he had Aldor Attendant in the Hand of It All. It's just such a nasty curve. And then he got the tour guide off the first day of school. That was really strong as well. If he's pure Paladin, that does shuffle a priest card. Oh wait, it's no neutrals, right? So even if he shuffles that in, his stuff is still active. Well, I probably want to Marrow Slicer, trade, value trade, and then just play a Mermy, I guess. Alright, so my opponent's Blessing of Wisdom drew 2 cards. That's not great, but whatever. I am pumping a lot of stats into this Blood Herald. I have 5 more minions in play. Pump this up to an 8/8. think I just Lapidary here and let my Blood Herald get bigger. Collect was really good here. You fool, it could have been so much bigger. True Aim Crescent. So I can leave my 5-3 in play, and then have a 9-3. Oh wait, no. The True Aim Crescent would make this run in. So I could take 6 to deal 5. Not really though, I only deal 3 because I could just go face anyway. I think I'll take the extra stat on my Blood Herald. And the extra health on my face. I could have dealt more damage to him there, but I would have basically been concluding that my life is worth half as much as his, and I'm not sure if that's true necessarily. Of course he has Librum of Justice. I don't know if there's really anything I can draw that deals with this thing. Well, he dealt with my threat a little bit too easily, I think. Might be falling back on the Demon Hunter classic of hoping I draw Marrow Slicer into Lapidary. That would be lethal.
I feel bad for you. I do love a good study session. Reporting for duty.
He's got 14, so I am just dead here. I had a pretty sick Blood Herald that game.
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
This ends now.
I could just keep this. It is a 2-5, but I don't think this Marrow Slicer Lapidary is going to close out the game, really. I guess I'll just keep an egg and then try to curve out a little bit better. This is a pretty good hand. This is a really strong hand, actually. Now, how the hell do I play it? I think I'm okay with waiting until turn 4 to Terran. Let's just play this here. Alright. Refo was the worst because it gets hero powered, so I'm fine with Kolek here. Gonna hero power it over 2 turns. Next turn we'll go Serpent Egg Spirit Jailer and then land a Terran that at least pops an egg. I probably should be hitting with this weapon actually. I play a lot of weapons. I might even coin out the Hogsteed next turn. That's probably pretty good. This is gonna be a fat Terran. Okay, so this has got to be Highlander, right? Vile Fiend Trainer. I probably still want to hit the fat Terran value while I can. There's no way he's playing Polymorph. He could have Devolving Missiles, though. Devolving Missiles would be tragic.
Is it cold in the shadow?
That's fine. Eight Blood Herald. I really just want to get more than an 8/8 out of this Blood Herald. Is that too greedy? Maybe.
Vengeance is mine.
I'm just gonna do this. I think this has 5 things in it, yeah. So if he pops it here, he actually can deny me a little bit of value. But, he has to recognize that, and then even if he does that, he's still popping this for me, which is pretty damn good. I did attack into his 1/3. I made it a 1/1 when she can just send into the 3/1. But I don't think my health total really matters at all in this matchup. Generates a Polymorph. That's not even a little tilting. Alright, I guess it's Blood Herald time. It's gonna be a 12/12. You might just get clapped over 2 turns.
A simple spell.
Devolving Missiles me. Come on, do it. Do it.
Oh, it says explode.
Okay, still 9 health. Well, I want to play this, I'm pretty sure. The 12 definitely goes face. I guess I hero power here? Not really much point in playing either of these. Satyr Overseer could definitely give me some good reload. My poor Blood Herald. Beast of Souls. Well, I can draw a card here. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually have to deal 9 to my Herald here. He can just send a Water Ellie into it.
What to do? What to do?
You've got me fired up.
Oh, it says explode.
My Blood Herald is never going to attack.
On your lead.
Well, I don't really want to play green here. I can maybe, well, actually I guess I'm never going to be able to kill him through 2 water elementals. This game is actually over.
Time runs out on me.
Wow, that's value. So I'm at 16. I mean, I'm not dead here.
You want my respect?
This is lethal fairly often.
Time runs out on me.
At this point, I guess I'll wait to see what my next card is before conceding.
I yield for now.
That game could have been okay if he didn't mally into a polymorph. Alright, so if I'm being totally honest, my first 6 games with this deck did not go very well. So I do want to make some changes. The first thing I notice is that I think we're playing too many weapons. We've got 2 Marrow Slicer, 2 Umberwing, and 2 True Aim Crescent. I think Umberwing definitely has to stay in the deck. It's just too strong and it's a good token thing. I do like the idea of True Aim Crescent being able to activate Eggs and Terran, so I kind of want to cut the Marrow Slicer. And in the same vein as that, I'm just overall not totally in love with Soul Fragments in this deck. I get the idea that you want the Marrow Slicer and the Lapidary to be finishers, but I would kind of like it if we finished the deck with something token-oriented. Just kind of fit the theme of the deck. So currently our payoff cards for being token are just Feast of Souls and Blood Herald. So I would like to add some more payoffs. I think Fell Guardians is definitely a card we should be playing. It's not like much of a payoff card, like it's not going to end the game, but it's just a very efficient card for this kind of deck, so I think we want to be playing it. So what else do we want? I think maybe Knife Juggler could be pretty reasonable in this deck if we're making a lot of token stuff. It also goes pretty well with the Fell Guardians we just put in the deck, and it's good with like Coordinated Strike and Command the Illidari. Another sort of payoff card we could play is Rustsworn Cultist. Basically a nice way to keep our tokens in play. So that can be pretty good. I do feel like at this point though, we do lack the finishing power. So I actually want to play a kind of sketchy card that I hope I won't be mocked for including. I want to play Raid Leader. It seems kind of silly, but I don't think there's really much of another way for Demon Hunter to leverage having a wide board. I feel like that's one of the main things that's been holding back token Demon Hunter. But we have seen in the past that like Odd Paladin was able to use Raid Leader. So Raid Leader's not that terrible. I think Command the Illidari is maybe a bit expensive. And I do want to find another slot, but I'm not sure what I'm cutting. I also just generally would like to drop the curve a bit. Maybe 2 Rustsworn Cultist is overkill if I want to drop the curve. So looking at the big stuff, I think I'm definitely playing 2 Fell Guardians, 2 Blood Herald, and I like the Vile Fiend Trainers, I think. Rustsworn Cultist is a little sketchy. Terran's cool. Overseer's cool, especially when we have 4 weapons that can come down before it. Honestly, Serpent Egg is a little sketchy. Hinge Clan Hogsteed is a little sketchy. Alright, after thinking a bit more about the deck, there are actually several cards I still want to include. I definitely want to be playing Kayn, because it's going to be pretty sad if we make a bunch of tokens and then the opponent just plays a taunt and we can't go face. And I think I also just want to play Battle Fiend and Twin Slice because of their power level. So I need 5 more deck slots. I guess maybe this Rustsworn Cultist was a bit too cute. I think Hogsteed I can drop. I am adding some 1-drops, so I can probably cut the Mermies. Then I need a slot for Kayn. I actually feel like I could cut Terran. What if I cut Terran and 2 Serpent Eggs to play Kane and 2 Temple Berserkers? Is that reasonable? Is Temple Berserker even the best 2-drop I could put in? What if I played Direwolf Alpha? I mean, I've already got the raid leaders. Alright, let's try this. I did change a lot of cards. I hope I didn't massacre the deck too much. But in general, I think I like the changes I made. 4 hunters in a row. Excellent data I'm getting on this deck. I actually don't even want to keep Blood Herald against Hunter. I want to find some 1-drops. I want to find Fell Guardians. Doing pretty well. Easy turn 1 Battle Fiend. I don't think I'm ever coining a hero power here. Alright, so this is probably Highlander. The last 3 hunters I played against were all face hunters, so some variation at least. I could have saved Knife Juggler for some Fell Guardians plays, but if I don't play minions, then my Fell Guardians are never going to cost 1 or 0 mana anyway.
Your wish is my suggestion.
I guess he's just getting backstab here. This is going to be a pretty tough board to beat. Well, I did draw 2 minions, which is good for my double Fell Guardians hand. I can maybe double Fell Guardians next turn if he kills this Temple Berserker. Bad Luck Albatross. Why? Why is that in your deck? Explain it to me. Justify this inclusion. Well, I put a lot of stats in play, but my stats do not line up very well against his stats. It does look like this Fell Guardians is probably going to be very cheap next turn, though. Maybe just go for like Fell Guardians and then back it up with a raid leader. Hero power there, double value trade, 1-1 goes into the 3-1, and then I'm sad. Twin Slice. I mean, my 2/2s line up pretty nicely here. I guess I Twin Slice the Ooze. Because, like, 3/2 or 6/2, it dies to a 2/2 either way. So I'll just take the minimum damage. Don't play a stealth minion, I want to draw with Feast of Souls. That's fucked up. I mean, I'm pushing some damage. If he doesn't have a fast card here, he's likely going to die.
Well played.
Well played. Oh yeah, this is King Crush.
You'll find me wherever the action is.
Well, that was closer than I expected it to be, honestly. Well, I'm still struggling to win with this deck, so let's make a couple more changes. Raid Leader was a good meme while it lasted, but not that powerful, I think. Unfortunately, I think I'm forced to play Wrathscale Naga. I really just hate this card, but it does seem like one of the best payoffs available to the deck. Other than that, I also kind of want to play Animated Broomstick. I've been struggling to get Feast of Souls value. I feel like this could help. And the Broomstick is also pretty good when I play Blood Herald. So I think I actually want to cut these True Aim Crescents. They interfere with Umberwing a bit. And now that I'm not playing Serpent Eggs, they're not really that great for trading either. One more quick change. I think RealPrismsword might have been onto something with Mermy. Mermy just gives us a lot to pump into a Blood Herald and a Fell Guardians. I actually feel like Demon Companion has been underperforming, so let's make that swap. Hunter's been a pretty rough matchup for me so far. Although, I guess pretty much everything's been a rough matchup for me. Mermy into Juggler is okay. Okay, this could be a real hand. Maybe he Wolpertingers, I Mermy, he Hero Powers, and then I Juggler, trade off the Mermy and juggle the Wolpertinger. Easy Mermy. Pretty shocked at his lack of 1-drop. Double Blood Herald. I might pop off this game. No, not Eagle Horn Bow. That was the worst thing he could have played here. I'll go for Umberwing here, and then next turn is maybe Strike, Coin, Feast of Souls. I can draw a lot of cards, potentially. What you thinking about over there, Hunter? Okay, sure. If I want to bounce something, I want it to be something with Rush. So, not Pack Tactics, Pressure Plate, or Freeze. So, almost always Explosive here, I think. Two mana, draw 6. That's a lot of stats.
I like to think they teach me.
I think I'm happy to play that while it's outcasted. Maybe I can value trade this into a 3/3 and then it'll trade with the Felmaw. That'd be really nice. Trades, huh? That's interesting.
Put this apple on your head.
Let's see what happens here. So this one's probably a pressure plate, right?
All I see is weakness. Astounding.
That's unlucky for him.
Hunt you down.
I'm almost 100% sure this last one's explosive, so I don't want to attack face here. That's perfectly okay with me. Blood Heralds are getting pretty big.
On your lead.
This checks for explosive and freezing. Oh, that doesn't set off freezing. Well, I've got to play my 16/16 here, right? I don't quite have lethal next turn. Best I can do is Kane hero power. But I think that's okay.
You here for the tour?
I do want to avoid taking as much damage as possible. Maybe that means I'm caning into this. And then I can just play a bunch of other garbage to check for secrets next turn.
Hide behind yourselves. I will kill my value.
Check for secrets and kill him. Let's go, Blood Herald. Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, my win rate with this deck was pretty abysmal. And I think there are two main reasons for that. The first is that every single deck in the meta now plays like 7 AoEs, and if you get AoE'd like twice with this deck, you just can't really do anything. And then the second reason is quite simply that the payoff cards for Token Demon Hunter just aren't good enough. Fel Guardians I do think is a pretty strong card, but it doesn't carry games on its own. Blood Herald, I mean, it's just a big idiot. It gets silenced, it gets frozen, it gets ignored. It's just a pretty shitty card. Then we have Feast of Souls, which is a pretty hard card to get value out of because you have to kill your own board to do so. So a pretty disappointing archetype overall. I made a lot of changes to the deck. I went through a lot of different cards, I played a lot of games with it, and I just never got anywhere close to something that I thought was playable. I do think this deck could probably be optimized a bit. I think Vile Fiend Trainer is pretty shit, because we have these payoff cards that get stuck in our hand and it's hard to outcast this. So I would definitely cut Vile Fiend Trainers. Kane didn't do much. Ace Hunter Kreen didn't do much. So, oh whoops, not Blood Herald. I mean, I probably should cut Blood Herald, but that's a whole different discussion. So what do I do at this point? I really don't know. The original version of this deck was playing like Serpent Egg and Terran Gorefiend. Maybe I cut those a little bit too early. One of my main issues was just getting AoE'd, and these are pretty good against AoE. But I didn't really feel the deck had enough activators for Serpent Egg. I felt like it just kind of sat around a lot. I don't know. I think there's just not enough cards to work with here.